Brought to you by the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. Look at that. Yakuza Sue, baby. Yakuza Sue. Oh, shit. You know what? I didn't even put Yakuza Sue in the shot yet. The original already sold. Let me take care of that real fucking quick, and then we'll get into some fucking lineups, people. My 150 last night, I was fucking 1.7 points out for that 15 fucking grand. 10 grand, whatever the fuck they put on the line in those games. I'm learning how to win the 150 so I can go into the 150 for the $1 million game. That fucking giant squid cocksucker won. You start to see some of the same names at fucking pop-ups. They gotta have probably the greatest optimizer fucking program in the world. Now let's see. Well then, like holy water, it comes to wash away the. Here we go. All right. $500,000 on the line tonight. Why don't we go get our hands on it? Somebody won it all by themselves yesterday because they ran the right lineup with the fucking Dolphins defense. What are we learning more and more? These fucking defenses just keep showing up, winning lineups, even though they don't make any fucking sense. It's the Dolphins defense with A.J. Brown at captain. So again, lineups that don't make fucking sense are the ones that seem to win, which frustrates every fucking player that says, "Hey, I'm going to build a strategy." You shouldn't. You should throw fucking darts at the board. Darts at the goddamn board. That being said, we're going to make about 190 lineups, 150 for the 50-cent game, 20 for the millie, half a millie, because fucking DraftKings is getting cheap, and 20 for the $3 game, which we try to take out the Christian McCaffrey types. So the top 6 cards in this particular game: McCaffrey, Ayuk, Kirk Cousins, Brock Purdy, TJ Hawkinson, and Deebo Samuel. Let's go. Christian McCaffrey, who is officially listed as questionable, is expected to play Monday against Minnesota. McCaffrey, who turned in a limited performance practice session Saturday, looks to be on track for Monday Night Football. Star running back status will be made officially roughly 90 minutes before Sunday's kickoff. But at this point, the drumbeat has been consistently positive regarding his chances of being active. What remains to be seen is whether McCaffrey's snaps could be capped due to the oblique injury he sustained Week 6. Elijah Mitchell and Jordan Mason stand to see work in either case, but the tandem of backups could see increased opportunity if McCaffrey is limited in any capacity. All right, so what do we got here? As usual, 14 fucking running backs to fucking fuck with. So you know what's going to happen? You're going to load up on fucking Mason and Mitchell's going to pop off. You're going to load up on Mitchell and fucking Mason's going to pop off. Last fucking night, I put in 9 billion lineups with Jeff Wilson Jr. and Cedric fucking Wilson, who was the same fucking price, scored 6 times as many points, and was in the winning lineup. So fuck Jeff Wilson. Fuck it all. Can't listen to people sometimes. You just got to make your own fucking call. Just got to make your own call. Brandon Ayuk caught 4 of 10 targets for 76 yards in Sunday's loss to Cleveland. Ayuk was the only player with more than 4 targets for San Francisco in a game. Both Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey left early. He accounted for 76 of Brock Purdy's 125 passing yards, including a pair of catches for 33 yards on San Francisco's final drive, which ended in a 41-yard missed field goal in the final seconds. Regardless of the availability of San Francisco's other playmakers, Ayuk should remain a prominent role in Week 7 against the Vikings on Monday Night Football. Ayuk has 25 catches for 454 yards through 6 games, but he hasn't found the end zone since scoring twice in Week 1. So Samuel's out. So let's get down McCaffrey and Purdy. Kirk Cousins. Captain Kirk. Completed 21 of 31 passes for 181 yards with 1 touchdown and no interceptions in the Vikings win over the Bears on Sunday. He also rushed twice for -5 yards and committed 2 fumbles, losing 1. Cousins unsurprisingly bore little resemblance to the prolific performer he's often been, with Justin Jefferson out. But the veteran signal caller was able to do just enough to help the Vikings squeeze out a close victory. In Jefferson's absence, Cousins spread the ball around to 6 different targets, And his fumble on a late second quarter sack didn't lead to any Bears points. Cousins will likely acclimate to Jefferson's absence a bit more by next week, but he'll draw an unenviable matchup against the 49ers in a Monday night Week 7 home showdown. Brock Purdy completed 12 of his 27 passes for 125 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception in Sunday's loss to Cleveland. He added 3 rushing attempts for 7 yards. After opening the game with 4 consecutive handoffs, Purdy found Christian McCaffrey for a 13-yard touchdown on his first pass to cap the opening drive. Purdy failed to build on that early success, though. His 72 first-half passing yards marked Purdy's lowest total of the season, and Purdy was even worse after halftime, mustering just 53 passing yards in addition to throwing his first interception of the season. That modest yardage target includes 42 yards on the final drive to get into field goal range, but Jake Moody's 41-yard attempt missed wide right to hand Purdy his first regular season loss. Purdy's poor play against Cleveland's stout defense can be chalked up in part to attrition among San Francisco's playmakers, as both McCaffrey and Debo exited his aim. With the Niners banged up and no longer undefeated, Purdy's stock is trending down heading into a Week 7 road game against Minnesota. Ooh, you know he's going to be angry. That's 1 for Moody. That's 2 for McCaffrey. Samuel's not playing. All right. What do you got, girl? I love you. My dog. Hey, T.J. Hockenson brought in 6 of 8 targets for 50 yards in the Vikings win over the Bears on Sunday. Hockenson led the Vikings pass-catching core in receptions, receiving yards, and targets in Minnesota's first game without Justin Jefferson. But the big tight end didn't really get going until the latter portion of the game. Hockenson was surprisingly Kirk Cousins' favorite target sans Jefferson. And the same could certainly hold true in a Week 7 Monday night home matchup against the Niners on October 23rd, during which the veteran quarterback figures to frequently have to get rid of the ball quickly due to the San Francisco pass rush. That's 1 for Cousins, and that's 1 for the Niners D. So Hockenson, what we like? Hawk and Ayuk right now, we see it right now, the top targets. Top healthy targets, at least. Debo Samuel. Head coach Kyle Shanahan, that's Samuel, who was already ruled out from Monday's contest against the Vikings, will also miss the Niners' Week 8 contest against the Bengals. Head coach Kyle Shanahan said Samuel is dealing with a hairline fracture of his shoulder, which will keep the star receiver out a minimum 3 weeks, including the team's Week 9 bye. Given that timeline, Samuel could be a candidate for injured reserve, which would entail a minimum 4-game absence. In Samuel's absence, expect Brandon Ayuk to be heavily featured option as the Niners' clear number 1 receiver, with the likes of Juwan Jennings, Ronnie Bell, Ray McLeod factoring in. Fucking remember, I went heavy on McLeod and fucking Ronnie Bell. Fucking hate this shit sometimes. So 1 for Ronnie Bell, 1 for Ray McLeod, 1 for stupid fucking asshole Juwan Jennings. And we know Ayuk is on the board. It's a lot of Niners. Whole lot of fucking Niners. All right, there's your top 6 cards. We'll get to the bottom of the deck. Make our way all the way back up to Mr. Jordan Addison. Where we go? A bunch of zeros with no recent news. Nothing on these boys, huh? Well, we got something on Ty Chandler. What do we got? Chandler played all 16 of his snaps on special teams Sunday in the Vikings win over the Bears. For the 3rd week in a row, Chandler was limited exclusively to special teams work, with trade acquisition Cam Akers having settled in as the number 2 back behind Alexander Mattison. Akers is averaging a solid 5.7 yards per carry since he joined the Vikings, so the coaching staff may not be overly motivated to give Chandler a look on offense. Eesh. That's 1 for Akers, 1 for Mattison. I hate when the fucking screen just decides to go downward. Jefferson, Jesus Christ, this guy's murdered my fucking goddamn best balls. I'm out of first place on a whole bunch of best balls. This fucking idiot's on injured reserve. He was carrying my fucking team. This is old fucking news. Fuck this guy. Ugh, it does that. Why does it fucking do that? If only just to get on your nerves. Johnny Munt! Hey, fucking Johnny Munt over here. Went without a target across 7 snaps on offense Sunday against the Vikings win over the Bears. Munt recorded an 11-yard reception in the Vikings' Week 5 loss to the Chiefs for his first catch of the season. But quarterback Kirk Cousins didn't look the tight end's way during his limited time on the field Sunday. As the third string option at a position that often serves as a blocker when he plays, Munt is far removed from the fantasy radar. That's 2 for Cousins. Of course. I have to keep fucking doing this every goddamn time, right? Latu, Dwelly, Naylor. Naylor is listed as questionable ahead of Monday night's game against San Francisco. Could this guy be a sleeper? The 24-year-old wideout was designated to return from injured reserve Wednesday, and he logged 3 limited practices throughout the week. If Naylor is able to suit up Monday night, he'll likely play the majority of his snaps on special teams, as he played only 6% of the Vikings' offensive snaps last season. You suck. Jalen Naylor. Kenny Guangyu, reinstated from injured reserve Wednesday. Guangyu has regained health and is poised to make his season debut Monday against the Niners, though he'll fortify a backfield that also includes Alexander Mattison, Cam Akers, and Ty Chandler. Guangyu is expected to see most of his snaps on special teams. The 25-year-old has been one of the league's top kick returners since entering the NFL in 2021, taking 3 kicks back for touchdowns while averaging 28.3 yards per return. Well, that is a possible slaughter stack. And you just pop this guy up, him and Naylor, or is the taking 3 kicks back for touchdowns. I won 20 grand because I had a fucking 5 Chief, 1 Raven stack. I literally had only $400 left for the Ravens, and I used it on Devin Duvernay, ran back a touchdown, and put my ass over the top. That's 2 for Akers, 2 for Madison, 1 for Chandler. And I am intrigued by this Kenny Guangyu. Maybe running one of these motherfuckers back. Juice! Reeled in his lone target for a 9-yard touchdown in Sunday's loss to the Browns. 9-yard reception. Juice went without a target for a carry in Niners' first 2 games, but he's since been seen his touches tick up a bit over the last 4 contests. After recording 4 catches in the Niners' 42-10 drubbing of the Cowboys in Week 5, the Willback took a step back in terms of involvement Sunday, but still tied for his longest gain of the season. Even with full halfback Christian McCaffrey potentially at risk of missing Monday's game in Minnesota, Juice isn't expected to be a major beneficiary. Juice will continue to bring most of his value to the San Francisco offense as a blocker rather than returner or receiver. That's 3 for McCaffrey. He goes to wash away the sins of you and I. Ronnie Bell, nothing on the board for Bell. That fucking Giants game. That 10 goddamn points put that fucking lineups over the top, you cunt. Cam Akers, 1 carry for 8 yards, 1 reception for 7 yards on his lone target in Sunday's win at Chicago. Akers played just 9 snaps on offense, which is lower than his previous 2 games with the Vikings. Alexander Mattison played 43 snaps and had 18 carries for 44 yards. It was a little surprising Akers didn't get more opportunities, with Madison struggling with the 2.4 yards per carry. Akers could eventually challenge for more playing time, but the Vikings continue to use Madison as the primary back, even with underwhelming results. Tree for Madison. This fucking bust. Ray McLeod, caught one of 2 targets for 4 yards and 2 rushing attempts for 23 yards in Sunday's loss to Cleveland. McLeod saw his role increase over the course of Sunday's loss after Deebo Samuel was forced out of the game due to injury. McLeod did his best impression of the dual-threat superstar, recording his first rushing attempts of the season on a couple of successfully designed runs. The veteran return man wound up seeing 44 snaps on offense Sunday, a role he may be asked to serve again if Samuel's unable to suit up next Monday's tilt against Minnesota. All right, McLeod's a captain. Even at that low salary, because he's filling in for Debo, he could pop the fuck off tonight. And nobody will have his ass. So we gotta waste 1 or 2 captains on him. Yeah, that's true. That's essential. This fuck. Brandon Powell. 3 receptions for 20 yards on 4 targets and lost a yard on Sunday's win over Chicago. He also returned 3 punts for an average of 10.7 yards. This fucker's busy. Powell played on a season high 32 snaps on offense, 58% of the offense, as he moved into a third receiver role with Justin Jefferson on injured reserve. He failed to connect on a key third down pass from Kirk Cousins that would have been difficult to catch, but shows he has Cousins' trust. Tree for Kirk. Vikings D, of course. Let's see how the Vikings. They're going up against the Niners. 21 fucking points against Chicago. And Chicago's a bad team, and Carolina's a bad team, so I don't know if that factors in. However, again, last night's lineup, 500 grand. AJ Brown a captain, Dolphins fucking defense. Cedric fucking Wilson. $500,000. That fucking piece of shit goes home with fucking $500,000. Cedric Wilson, put it this way, Cedric Wilson was the sixth card in his lineup. Cedric Wilson did the hard work, and he don't even make $500,000. Brock fucking Purdy doesn't make $500,000. Tonight you'll make more money than the guys you're fucking playing. Clay Wright. Juwan Jennings caught 2 of 4 targets for 24 yards in Sunday's loss to the Browns. Jennings finished as San Francisco's second leading receiver behind Brandon Ayuk after Deebo Samuel was forced after playing just 9 snaps Sunday. Jennings didn't see his snap count rise after Samuel's role was instead filled by the team's number 4 option, Ray McLeod. A similar scenario unfolded when Ayuk had to sit out a game earlier this season, confirming that Jennings is unlikely to move above or below his current slot position this season. Even so, Deebo is forced to mix next Monday's tilt against Minnesota. It's safe to say that Jennings' role on offense will remain unchanged. Now I gotta use a captain on that because God forbid this guy pops off, nobody will have. He's $15 fucking on this joke. All right, it's 2 for McLeod though. I believe they said Ayuk. 2 for Ayuk. Nothing on Brock Purdy, right? This is a lot about McLeod. Kicker Greg Joseph made 2 of his 3 field goal attempts and 1 of his 2 extra point tries in Sunday's win at Chicago. Joseph failed to convert on both extra point tries and a field goal attempt for the first time this season in Week 6. In his defense, the warm-up kick was blocked and the latter was a 57-yarder on a cool fall day in the Windy City. Even so, Minnesota's offense looks strained without Justin Jefferson and will draw a brutal matchup versus San Francisco's defense in Week 7. Ah, shit, that defense is looking good. Niners defense, what they even did? 7 points in a loss. More often than not, yeah, you're going to have to look at that Niners fucking data, you know? We'll see. Jake Moody. 1 for 3 on field goal attempts, 2 for 2 on extra point tries in the loss to the Browns. Moody's perfect stretch to begin his pro career finally came to an end following after missing 2 crucial kicks in the Week 6 loss to Cleveland. The rookie place kicker missed the first and last of his 3 attempts Sunday. The first miss came early in the contest from 54 yards out, but it was his final miss on a 41-yard attempt that stands out after his team lost by just 2 points. Moody will have to shake this off his first rough outing in the pros and bounce back when the Niners face the Vikings on Monday Night Football, Week 7. Oh, nothing on Mitchell, huh? Nothing on Mitchell. No, it's here. Oh, fuck me. These are old stories? Oh, god damn it. I gotta go look through all these old fucks now. We need information about the fucking Browns. Really? I gotta go do this? Oh, you fucking cunt. These could all be old news. God damn it. Just gotta rip through real quick. Look, we're looking for a clue, an angle, something. Which is the Paola. Give these guys a quick little run through, see if there's anything worth picking up. Because one of these guys could be Cedric Wilson. You could say to yourself, did I waste any time reading these stupid cards? And then no, if it wins you $500,000 goddamn dollars. $500,000. It's worth flipping over a few fucking cards at the bottom of the deck. Even if they pan out to be nothing. See, inactive, it's for the Brown game. I need afterwards. Charlie Warner. See, Snead hasn't done shit since Arizona. Lucky Jackson. XFL fucking dynamo, huh? D. Wade McBride. I think there was nothing on Jefferson, right? It was all bullshit. It was old news. Olivier. Old news. That's about Kansas City. We need about the Bears. And anything on the Niners, we need about the Browns. Fumagazi. Mont Latu. What do we got? All right, we're almost all caught up here. Cameron Latu. Ross Dwelly backs up George Kittle. Gray. We didn't read about Gray, did we? Nothing about Gray. Guang Yu, we read about. Knowles. Nothing. Juice, Ronnie Bell. Could Ronnie Bell come into play? He hasn't done shit in a while. Had the one game, of course, where he fucked everybody that didn't look at him. Akers, McLeod, Vikings. All right, all these guys have stories. All right, now we're caught back up. Eli Mitchell. Mitchell rushed twice for -3 yards, wasn't targeted in Sunday's loss to the Browns. Mitchell played a minimal role in his return from a 2-game absence. Lead back Christian McCaffrey exited in the second half, but Jordan Mason, 5 carries for 27 yards and a touchdown, took over as San Francisco's top backfield option over Mitchell. If McCaffrey is unable to return for a Monday Night Football road game against the Vikings in Week 7, Mitchell could take on a larger role, though he seems to have fallen behind Mason on the depth chart. 2 for Mason, 4 for McCaffrey. It's like, really, can you even run a lineup without McCaffrey today? Mason rushed 5 times to 27 yards and a touchdown, but wasn't targeted in Sunday's loss to the Browns. Mason took over as San Francisco's lead back after Christian McCaffrey exited in the second half. The 24-year-old running back out of Georgia Tech gave the Niners a 17-13 lead with an 8-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter. But Cleveland responded with a pair of field goals to hand the Niners their first loss of the season. Elijah Mitchell returned from a 2-game absence but had just -3 yards on 2 carries. If McCaffrey is unable to suit up against the Vikings in Week 7, Mason would likely lead in San Francisco's backfield over Mitchell. 5 for McCaffrey, and Mitchell, that's his second. Sam the Slam Darnold. Brandon Allen, nothing there. Jaron Hall. No, old news. Hey, fucking Nicky Mullins, old news. Sean Mannion, old news. Here we go. KJ Osborne, 4 of 5 targets for 48 yards, and the Vikings win over the Bears on Sunday. Osborne moved up a spot on the depth chart with Justin Jefferson's sideline and turned in a solid performance with the extra opportunity. Fourth-year pro has already proven his ability to handle an expanded role by recording 110 receptions for 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns over the previous 2 seasons. So his numbers can continue an upward trajectory while Jefferson remains out. Yeah. I don't see anything too fucking special there, but he's in play. Alexander Madison rushed 18 times for 44 yards, brought in 4 of 7 targets for 28 yards in the Vikings win over the Bears on Sunday. Madison notably outpaced backfield mate Cam Akers by 17 carries after there was only a 3-carry difference between the two in Week 5. However, as has been the case for more often than not this season, Madison was unable to do much with his opportunities on the ground, although he did put together a solid showing as a receiver. Fifth-year back does seem to have a firm hold on the lead back job, however, but he lines up for another tough matchup against the Niners in Week 7 on Monday night. George Kittle caught 1 of 2 targets for 1 yard in the loss to the Cleveland. Kittle failed to get involved as a pass catcher, even though key playmakers Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel both got hurt. Brock Purdy threw for just 125 yards in the defensive battle, And Brandon Ayuk was the only member of the Niners to exceed 30 receiving yards. Kittle will look to bounce back in prime time when the Niners visit the Vikings on Monday Night Football in Week 7. That's 6 for McCaffrey. Debo doesn't get mentioned. Ayuk, that's 3. Purdy, that's 2. Didn't mention anything with Madison, right? It was just about Cam Akers, yes. Akers has 3. Akers. Addison. Finally, Jordan Addison. Secured 3 of 5 targets to 28 yards and a touchdown in the Vikings win over the Bears on Sunday. Addison served as the de facto number 1 receiver in Justin Jefferson's absence, but he made much less of an impact than what fantasy managers might have expected coming in. Nevertheless, Addison finished tied with KJ Osborne for the team lead in targets among wide receivers, and his 10-yard touchdown grab with 12 seconds remaining in the first half made it a serviceable fantasy day overall. Addison has now scored in back-to-back games and in 4 of his first 6 career contests overall, but he and the rest of the offense face a tough matchup Monday night against the Niners. That's 1 for Osborne. They mentioned Cousins or no? Yep, no Cousins. All right, there we go. So Cousins, Akers, and Madison all have 3 mentions. Jordan Mason's got 2, Eli Mitchell's got 2, Christian McCaffrey's got 6, Brock Purdy's got 2, Jake Moody's got 1, Chandler's got 1, Osborne's got 1, Niners defense 2, Ronnie Bell, Ray McLeod, Juwan Jennings, and Brandon Ayuk. Well then. Before I read those notes and make new lineups. Remember, brought to you by the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. Oh, I love when it goes up when I click it. All right, let's do this shit. Optimal projection, 1 unique player. 20 lineups. No 4 stacking. Let's take a look. Now, McCaffrey we adore because, again, every fucking thing seems to go around him. Ayuk we also adore. Kirk Cousins. He's going to have to throw, but it's the Niners D. Brock Purdy's got to bounce back. Hawkinson was the number 1 target. Let's give him a like. Addison, the number 1 target. Let's give him a like. George Kittle always shows up in the prime time. Let's toss him a like. Madison, Osborne, Mason, Mitchell, Moody. Niners defense, we adore. They just keep coming up. So let's throw them in the adore spot. Joseph, Jennings, Vikings, Powell, McLeod, we also like a lot. He is playing Debo's role. He could have the pop-off game. Bell, Juice, Oliver, Werner, Harry, and Han. Now let's get to our captains. And we're making 20 lineups, so we have to have them at least in 5% of the lineups. But who's not going to make the captain's run? CJ Ham, no N'Keal Harry, no Werner, no Olivier, no Juice, no Bell, no Akers. Ray, yes. Powell, no. Vikings, no. Jennings, yes. Joseph, no. Niners D, yes. Moody, no. Mitchell, no. Mason, yes. If he comes in, I need him in there. Osborne, if he pops off. Madison, if he surprises the fucking world. Kittle, absolutely. Addison, Hawkinson, Purdy, Cousins, Ayuk, and McCaffrey. How many captains is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you know McCaffrey's going to be in all of them and everybody's going to get 1. Exposure minimum 5. Exposure maximum 95. Came in second in the Falcons Buccaneers game. Lost by 0.57. What we've got here is failure to communicate. So here we go. 20 lineups. Let's see if we like them. See how we captains break down. Yes. McCaffrey's in 7 lineups. Purdy's in 2. Oh, captain, I mean. And everybody else gets 1 captainship. Then we got in the flex. Let's see how they line up the flex. Brandon Powell, 18 spots. Faro, Ayuk, of course, is in everywhere. Addison's everywhere. McCaffrey's everywhere. Hawkinson, 5. Olivier. Josh Olivier, really? Arnie Bell, Madison, Kittle, Juice, Osborne, Nikhil fucking Harry. Get the fuck. Where's Ray Ray fucking McLeod? Why is Ray Ray McLeod not in? Wait a minute. How much is Ray Ray McLeod that he's so fucked that he's not popping up in any fucking lineups? He's 2,200. Wait, do we trust the system here? Fuck it, let's read some of this shit. CMC says he feels great. If that's the case, that he's not near high priced enough given his potential production here. Vikings are pretty solid against the run, but he does so much work outside the tackles that I'm not sure it matters. I'll let others fade here or go underweight saying he's hurt. If he's in the game, he's going to get his normal workload and his spot could be massive. All right, like that. Brandon Ayuk is the clear-cut number one now that Debo is out. 10 targets last week, brought in 7. This is an absolute smash spot against the Vikings. If CMC is limited at all, I think we see a monster game out of Ayuk. Love him in the captain. No real interest in the MVP. Top flex plays. Let's make sure that matches. Flex. Ayuk in 13, yes. Captain of 1, so he's in 14 of these lineups. Wrong way. Not the type of quarterback we typically target here in the captain, but he's put up some really solid scores early this year. I think he could feasibly get there. We'll have to smash if the Vikings want to contend. Elite flex option. Favorite MVP play. The issue is that we saw last week his floor could be low. Geek probably hates that he's listed here, but the guy can ball and put up a big score without Jay Jettis. Can he? Has he? Hawkinson has been a target hog with Jettis going down, so 8 targets against the Bears. Obviously a tough matchup against the Niners, but the usage will be there. Low-end captain option, but I feel I say about everyone here, I'll be overweight. Addison. Addison is not Jay Jettis, but don't get it twisted. He's a very solid wide receiver, but the ceiling isn't anywhere near JJ, especially against the Niners. And Chivalrous Ward? What the fuck is Chavarius Ward off defense? I think Ward shuts him down here. He'll be going to the other pass catchers, looking to be underweight everywhere. Kittle. Sunday was National Tight End Day, but it might carry over to Monday for Kittle. Saw him smash a few weeks ago when the Niners were dealing with receiver injuries, and I wouldn't be shocked to see it again against the Vikings, who struggled to stop the pass. The floor isn't great, but I think the matchup outweighs it. Can smash at low ownership here. I really think he's so boom or bust, though, that I want him in the captain or not at all. Underweight in the flex. Decent FanDuel option. Madison is trash, but they keep giving him the ball, so you have to consider him. Maybe that's just my Vikings fandom coming out, but the guy's done nothing with tons of touches. The one redeeming quality is that he's getting a bunch of targets, which makes him a bit more intriguing on DK. Low-end captain, low-end flex, just because his ceiling isn't that high. That being said, in a low-scoring game, he can get there. While Addison is the wide receiver number 1, and I put that into question for a reason, think that Osborne is much better fantasy option in this matchup. He is a target hog who can be trusted in the red zone. He also will be lined up in the slot many times. We'll likely avoid Javarius Ward, who's been really good this season. Low-end captain, but elite flex. Love him in Niner lineup heavy construction. Maybe we gotta drop Jennings then. Let's continue reading. We might have to fix this. Might have to fix it. Might have to fix it. Because I'm not liking Josh Olivier. I'm not feeling that. Not feeling it. Legitimately not feeling it. All right, these are flex. Okay, this is the flex. We read McCaffrey, we read Ayuk, Cousins, Purdy, Hawkinson, Addison, Kittle, Madison, Osborne, Mason. Is Mason worth the captain? Mason was the clear lead back last week when CMC went out. With CMC playing but potentially limited, there's some viability to playing Mason at this price. He's been good in the action he's had. Shit, let me take a look here again. Here comes the water. It comes to wash away the sins of you and I. I mean, look, Dallas, he smashed. Not smashed, but I don't know. Maybe he's not worth the captain. Maybe he's just there. Yeah, take him out. Take him out. Fucking wasting a lineup there. Good in the flex. Let's keep going here. Elijah Mitchell, in his first action back from a knee injury, had 2 carries for -3 yards. Not great considering that CMC was hurt and there was more opportunity. They say they want him to get more involved, but Mason looks like the better option. Potentially sneaky GPP play. Fuck your mother. Missed the late one that could have helped the Niners win last week, but has been perfect in his rookie season up to that point. Had 2 weeks in a row that he got 0 field goal attempts. Floor isn't good, especially considering the injuries this offense is facing. All right. The Niners defense is tough. Vikings offense is terrible. That's a great combo for a big score. 5 picks in the last 2 games for the Niners. Cousins is decent at avoiding picks, but he struggles to get rid of it and takes a ton of sacks. I like the Niners defense, but I think they will be overowned. Yeah, that's true. They will be overowned. They'll be over. Good when he doesn't need to be. Terrible when he does. At home, he's better, though, as he struggles in the conditions. Against the tough defense like the Niners, my guess he gets a ton of opportunities here. Interesting. Jawan Jennings. Despite Debo going out last week, we didn't see Jennings' role really increase. He continues to play in the slot, second in targets last week, but Purdy kind of sucked, so he didn't do much. Prime matchup against the Vikings, so maybe he gets a few more targets here. I don't know if he's worth a captain. Oh, fuck me, is he worth a captain? Purdy looked very mediocre last week, and this defense is better than we give them credit for, especially against the run. If they can stop the run and get Purdy to throw, we could see multiple picks and sacks. Think they are sneaky against strong GPP option, even in Niner heavy lineups. Well, we saw what happened with the Dolphins yesterday. He ain't wrong. Wide receiver for the Vikings and really strong value down here, sub 3K, getting around 4-ish targets a game with JJ out. Cousins is looking his way in key situations, strong play. With Debo out, Ray stepped up and had a big game last week for Ray standards. Couple of nice design runs and 2 targets. Should that role increase here this week along with his normal punt and kick return duties? Decent punt. Cam Akers. Akers is better than Madison, but at this point it doesn't appear like the team does. He's been more explosive in his limited touches. Maybe this is the week the Vikings let him and Madison split touches. I think it's coming at some point, and I love the upside potential of this price point, but he's got about 0 floor. Ronnie Bell, no targets this week and only 1 the week before. Mostly special teams. Fuck up, good. Juice, classic showdown turd. He scored a week ago, so maybe he's all out of touchdowns. Fullback that catches passes, has had at least 1 target in each of the last 3 games. And if this is a blowout, he gets an extended run. Kenny Guang Yu will be back in the lineup this week on special teams returning kicks. Likely doesn't get a snap on offense, so you'll want to pair him with the defense if you have him in there. Jalen Naylor. No guarantee he's active, but KOC has talked about him a few times this week, and how he loves him and how he's excited to get him in the wide receiver room because he can do some unique things. If he's active tomorrow, I'm going to be all over him as a cheap turd that can get you a 0 but can pop off at no ownership. Wow. Not the worst turd considering he gets 30% of the snaps, has caught a touchdown this season already. Ty Chandler plays almost exclusively on special teams, but if Akers Madison go down, he can get some work. That's good for the fucking 150s, but this is 20 lineups. All right, so we're going to keep Cousins, fuck Jennings. Osborne you keep, Madison you keep, Niners you keep, Addison, Hawkinson, Ayuk, Purdy, McCaffrey. Okay. In the flex. I mean, Ray's not even coming up. Powell, Purdy, Ayuk, Addison, McCaffrey, Olivier. God damn it. I mean, what does he do? Fucking waste my lineups on this cunt. He backs up Hawkinson, right? Week 3, he got a fucking touchdown pass. Ain't done shit in weeks. Nah, not for this one. But this Jalen Naylor they're talking about is interesting. Get rid of Bell. Cousins. Juice. Keep Juice in there. Osborne, Niners. Nikhil Harry. Get the fuck out of here. Charlie Werner, get the fuck out of here. CJ Ham, get the fuck out of here. I need. We need Jalen Naylor, but he's probably on exclusion. Included by flex fantasy points. Now we got to get him in there. Throw him in for 5. I can't say I'm a Josh Olivier fan. Jackson, Snead, Werner. We like this idea of Jalen Naylor. Let's get back over here. When it comes to wash away the season. All right, good. I'm in for 3 points. Give him a little boost. Where did he fucking go just now? Where did he go? Where did he go? The fucking Naylor. Why is this guy on exclusions? I gave him fucking points. Fucking annoying. Give this guy a like. What, he disappears? What is that? All right, fuck you. Fuck you. Just fucking cocksucking system sometimes. There you go. Give him fucking 6 points. There you go. Nails one. All right, good. Now we're in a flex. Now let's do it. Get rid of these fucking lineups. Brandon, fucking Josh, fucking Naylor. Get the fuck out of here. All right, good. Give me this Naylor in. In the flex. Okay, good. Minimum exposure. I want him in at least one lineup. See what we got. All right, let's take a look at our captains. McCaffrey comes up in 8 lineups, a captain. Purdy at 2, Hawkinson at 2, Niners 1, Ayuk, Addison, Madison, Cousins, Kittle, Osborne, McLeod. Yeah, I got to keep McLeod in there. He could have a big game. He could be the Debo. And let's look in the flex. Jalen Naylor, 19 fucking lineups. They put his ass in now. Let's get him to 10. Maybe, right? Because they got Brandon Powell in there. Let's see what they come up with. Naylor and Powell. Eesh, kabibble. McCaffrey, Ayuk, Purdy, Addison, Powell, Naylor. Powell, Naylor. Niners, Naylor. Powell, Naylor. Powell, Naylor. Powell, Naylor. Powell, Naylor. Powell, Naylor. Powell, Naylor. Jesus, Powell, Naylor. Anything else? Cam Akers and Naylor. Madison, Naylor. Niners, Naylor. Powell, Naylor. Addison, Naylor. Hawkinson, Naylor. Powell, Naylor. A lot of fucking power, Naylor. Should we 50% this? Or would we just say fuck it for these lineups? Let's go crazy on Jalen Naylor. Questionable ahead of Monday night's game against San Francisco. Let's read it one more time. The 24-year-old wideout was designated to return from injured reserve Wednesday, and he logged 3 limited practice throughout the week. If Naylor is able to suit up Monday night, he'll play the majority of his snaps on special teams, as he's only played 6% of the Vikings' offensive snaps last season. So I don't get it. What do they want with this guy? Why is he not guaranteed he's active, but Kevin O'Connell has talked about him a couple of times this week and how much he loves him and how he's excited to get him in the wide receiver room because he could do some unique things. If he's active tomorrow, it'd be all over him as a cheap turb that could get you a 0 that could pop off at no ownership. See, Powell is up there now. He's not even a turd anymore. He's better than all the other turds. Let's take the turd. But I saw what happened to me last night with fucking Jeff Wilson, cunt fucking Jr. So they got Powell everywhere here. He's in 12 lineups. McCaffrey's in 12, Ayuk's in 13, Purdy's in 15, Naylor's in all of them. Except for this one at the end, with McLeod up top. McLeod, McCaffrey, Ayuk, Cousins, Purdy, Powell. Now Niners, they said it's gonna be overowned, so we went only 2 lineups here and then one at the captain. So I don't mind that because again, sometimes the obvious card that you say, obviously this is gonna be the shit, it's not. You get Ray here, you're able to overload. So we're taking a big risk on Jalen Naylor. Now, if Naylor doesn't play, or if he's out last minute, we're going to read about who's going to replace him. It could be we pull Ronnie Bell out of our ass. So let's take a look at these lineups real quick before we load them. McLeod, McCaffrey, Ayuk, Cousins, Purdy, Powell. Osborne up top. McCaffrey, Ayuk, Purdy, Madison, Naylor. Kittle, McCaffrey, Purdy, Hockenson, Addison, Naylor. Cousins, McCaffrey, Purdy, Hockenson, Powell, Naylor. Niners, McCaffrey, Ayuk, Purdy, Hockenson, Naylor. Madison, McCaffrey, Ayuk, Hockenson, Addison, Naylor. McCaffrey, Purdy, Hockenson, Addison, Powell, Naylor. Addison, McCaffrey, Ayuk, Purdy, Niners, Naylor. Hockenson, McCaffrey, Purdy, Addison, Madison, Naylor. McCaffrey, Ayuk, Purdy, Hockenson, Akers, Naylor. McCaffrey, Ayuk, Hockenson, Addison, Powell, and Naylor. Hockenson, McCaffrey, Ayuk, Purdy, Powell, Naylor. McCaffrey, Ayuk, Purdy, Madison, Powell, Naylor. McCaffrey, Cousins, Purdy, Addison, Powell, and Naylor. Purdy, McCaffrey, Ayuk, Addison, Powell, and Naylor. McCaffrey, Ayuk, Cousins, Addison, Powell, and Naylor. Ayuk, McCaffrey, Purdy, Addison, Powell, and Naylor. McCaffrey, Purdy, Hockenson, Addison, Niners, and Naylor. Purdy, McCaffrey, Ayuk, Hockenson, Powell, Naylor. McCaffrey, Ayuk, Purdy, Addison, Powell, and Naylor. There's your 20, kids. It's my 20, and I'll do the cheat sheets and make another 20. Then I'm going to try and listen to their show. Put in a 150. How do you like that shit? May fate and faith decide your fortune and if you should win. Blow your money on the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. Here we go. Let's load these 20 fucking lineups. What did I get here? We're good for Jared. All these things do not the finger like. What is it, baby girl? I'll take you for a walk right after I put these lineups in, all right? We're in, kids. $300. Let's see if it turns into $500,000. May fate and faith decide your fortune, and if you should win, well then, blow your money right here on the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. Peace, love, war,